the club in my hand. You're the one.
All right, folks, welcome to a special U.S. Open edition of TGD TV. We have a very special guest today. First of all, my name is Jimmy Biggs. I'm going to be your host today. I'm the head golf professional at Crow Creek Golf Club. And to my right is my very good friend, also a PGA member, Mr. Gene Weldon. Gene, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be
And we
here.
have a special guest today,
Yes, we
Gene.
do.
I'm really excited about this. We have the USGA Championship Director on the line, Danny Sink. Danny, are you there?
I am. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, Danny, we know you're a busy man, so we won't try to take up too much of your time. I know you're coming up on your Super Bowl of the year right now, the U.S. Open, just down the road at Chambers Bay up in the Pacific Northwest. Danny, real quick, how long have you known that Chambers Bay was going to host a U.S. Open championship? And secondly, how does it feel to be in the final push here, the last 2 months?
Well, it's a great question. To answer your second question first, we've got about 60-plus days, and, the days are all mixing together, but really an exciting time for me as the on-site championship director. I've been here over 2 years working on the project, so to start seeing some of all the hard work that everyone's put in come to fruition with building our tents and getting some of the players calling and asking about the event is certainly an exciting time, but Chambers Bay is very unique in the fact that it wasn't built until 2007. We had some folks out here in the Pacific Northwest look at the property before the golf course was built, or invited out by the county who owns the golf course to come out and check out the property, and it's breathtaking. For those that are listening that haven't been, it sits on the side of about a 300-foot elevation drop. It's an old rock mine, rock quarry, where a lot of the greens and things were built out of some of the sand that was taken from the site over the last 50 years. So very unique story, but to answer your question, we started coming here in 2006 looking at the property, and then we were invited to bring the championship here in late 2007, and then in 2008 at our annual meeting in Houston, we announced that we were bringing the 2010 U.S. Amateur to Chambers Bay, and then subsequently the 2015 U.S. Open, which is pretty quick turnaround for a new golf course to host those two great championships. But the quality and caliber of Chambers Bay is second to none. We couldn't be happier with what we're about to do in June.
Yeah. We were just talking about it earlier. As Gene had the. He was fortunate enough to play out there, weren't you, Gene? What was you played Pacific Dunes, right?
I played Pacific and Bandon Trails.
Right.
Unfortunately, Old McDonald was under work when we got there.
Right. Well, again, Danny, a little bit about the golf course. I mean, obviously it goes through a lot of work, and I'm sure you've got the course and the maintenance staff there. You're probably holding off a little bit of play to get that course in shape. Give us a little bit about the timeline that goes into getting a course ready for a U.S. Open championship. I mean, is anybody playing it right now, or is it limited play, or do you have to know the president to get out there? How does that work?
Well, that's a great question. Chambers is very unique in the fact that it is a 100% public golf course, so the county owns it and dictates the tee times. It has been open this winter. The Pacific Northwest is a year-round golf climate as much as the Southeast is. We don't get, we always get made fun of as having rain every day. It really doesn't rain like it does on the East Coast out here. Rain here is a sprinkly kind of haze. You still play golf in it. You don't use umbrellas out here, which you'll learn really quick as a visitor. So rain you'll get a lot of cloudy, overcast days, but golf is a 365 day a year event out here. With that said, the owners of the golf course out here at Pierce County have done a great job in cutting back on some play this winter. They haven't completely shut down the golf course over we want them to. It's been open for public play, but they've limited some areas where folks are staying off of. This is a fine fescue golf course, meaning that from tee to green it's fine fescue, which is a very finicky grass that you'll find a lot in the Pacific Northwest. You'll find it in Scotland and Ireland. Some of these kind of climates that have a lot of moisture and a cool growing season grass up here. So the grass is a little finicky when it gets a ton of traffic on it. But what they've done over the past 6 months to get the roughs prepared for it, this fescue rough really just pops when you give it a little food to grow. The golf course in the last 6 months has really taken a turn. We've had a very mild winter out here. It's in fantastic shape. I played it 2 weeks ago, and for those of you that have been to a U.S. Open or a major championship, it really looks like a U.S. Open course right now. No golf course can be that way year-round. You look at Augusta and places like that. They don't look like that year-round, nor should they. It's not conducive to everyday play, but we're really excited about what this is. This is the first time we've been on a fine fescue golf course, tee to green. It's a 100% public facility. As I said, it's our first time we've had the U.S. Open in the Pacific Northwest, but our partnerships out here have been great, and it does remind me a lot of some of the courses down at Bandon Dunes. It's a great comparison.
Danny, it seems to me like the USGA likes to use par as a barometer for their U.S. Open courses, and I think that's fair. I do. I enjoy the U.S. Open as much as any major venue. With that being said, most major venues seem to favor a type of player. Do you feel like Chambers Bay sets up for any type player in particular that would maybe have a little bit of an edge?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was with our executive director, Mike Davis, who manages our entire organization and also sets up our golf course for the U.S. Open a couple weeks ago out here, and we were talking about that very same thing. I think a long high ball hitter, the guys that you see that perform well on difficult golf courses. This is a thinking man's golf course more so than anywhere. No matter where we're at, whether we're in Pinehurst or Wingfoot or wherever, we like to pride ourselves on identifying the best player, both physically and mentally. We want them to think over every shot, no matter what it is. And par really for us is just a number. We don't try to protect par. We don't do anything like that. We want the best player that week in those 72 holes to win our championships, and I think we do a good job of that. With that said, there are areas on this golf course where we have 100-yard wide fairways, which we've never had at the U.S. Open. It's a link-style golf course, but we've also got areas where to get to a hole location, you're not going to be able to hit the ball at the hole location. You're going to have to play it off a back siding of the green or a side siding. So the player that will win, I think, the inherent advantages is to that long high ball hitter, but also the player that does their homework out here. About 95% of the field have never played this golf course and have never really played a lot of golf on fine fescue type grass. So the guy that comes in, Phil Mickelson's notorious about coming to the championship site 2 weeks before and spending 3 hours on every green, knowing what every shot into the green is going to do. Guys that prepare for this championship will have a huge advantage because it's not a type of golf course that they've played on a regular basis, and many of them will have never played a golf course like this. So, Jordan Spieth is a great story. He's got a local angle. His caddy has caddied at Chambers Bay. Jordan's played the golf course. If you look at people, I love having Tiger Woods in the mix at Augusta. Phil Mickelson, a guy that dissects every golf course he plays and is a good thinker on the golf course. And then obviously Rory McIlroy, the best player in the world, grew up in Northern Ireland playing link-style golf courses at Dornoch and Portrush and Portmarnock and all those places he played. So he's used to the link-style golf course and some of the weather that can be prevalent here in June with overcast, wind, a little rain. You just look at players like that seem to play well in majors and have a game that's adaptable to any course condition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking for all of the fantasy players out there that listen to us, we thank you for the inside information. That was great.
On a personal note, with that said, Ricky Fowler's one of my favorite guys out on tour, and I think his game sets up great for this type of golf course as well. So I'll give you that's 5 names, I guess, but.
That's your inside pick. We like that. That's good.
I've written them all down. Have I got time for one more question?
Yeah, fire another one.
Danny, I was really excited to have the U.S. Open in our backyard at Pinehurst, back to back with the men's and ladies. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Is there any plans to do that again? Or are there any
That's
plans?
a great
Excuse me.
question. No, it's a great question. We get it quite often. There are only a couple of venues, in our opinion, agronomically, that can handle what Pinehurst did. They've got some of the best people in the world working on those greens. And, our biggest concern is no secret is just keeping the golf course in U.S. Open condition, U.S. Women's Open conditions for 2 straight weeks. Certainly, I don't think we could do it at every venue that we have, but it's something we had a great deal of success with at Pinehurst, and I wouldn't be surprised if when we come back to Pinehurst, we may talk about that again. I don't think it's something we're going to do every year. I think logistically it was tough. From a golf course standpoint, it's tough, and quite frankly, we got really lucky with the weather. If we would have gotten some more delays during the Men's Open, the Women's Open was really hot, so we got really lucky on a lot of fronts. But I think it was a great story for us talking about the women's game and how good the women are. We were able to do a lot of things during the Men's Open to set up the golf course where the women were hitting the same types of shots into greens and things like that. So it was a great story for us at Pinehurst. I don't think it's something we're looking forward to doing every year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us do it down the road somewhere again.
Well, I don't blame you, Danny. I went to the Men's U.S. Open. I went there Sunday and hiked around that course, and I was just amazed at how much you guys have put into it, and the amount of volunteers that you had working that event was absolutely amazing. And I know you guys have to go in there and train all these volunteers and how to marshal the courses and how to set up the refreshments and food and beverage and all the above. And Gene and I, being PGA members, we've run our fair share of events, but nothing on the scale that you guys put forth. A quick note, you mentioned this is the first U.S. Open you've had up in the Pacific Northwest, and this is obviously the first time for Chambers Bay. I was just kind of wondering, in terms of U.S. Opens, is this a sign of future to come, new blood getting into the circuit? I mean, we're used to the Pebble Beaches and the Marions and the Shinnecocks and the Wingfoots and Oakmont Olympic Club, but are we going to start getting some new regions? I mean, obviously it's Father's Day weekend, so we can't go down to West Texas and have a U.S. Open, but we don't want to fry everybody. But is this the start of the USGA trying to find some new blood to get some more people interested in the game, to get some more championship golf, spread it out a little bit?
Yeah, Jimmy, that's a great point. You look at where we could go, and where we have the great fortune of having a lot of traditional clubs that want to host the U.S. Open, and it's a good point. Public golf is huge for us at the USGA. Most players around the world are public players, so the public facility nature, whether you're at Bethpage or Pebble or Pinehurst or places like that, is a huge story for us. You look at where our lineup takes us in the next couple of years. We've got Erin Hills in 2017, which is up in the Wisconsin Dells, about 40 minutes outside of Milwaukee. That's a testament to where the future of the game is going. These sustainable golf courses, public golf courses that have access for everyone. Our job, big job, is growing the game, but also sustaining the game of golf. I think growing the game always gets the attention, but we want to keep the game healthy for the golf courses that are out there. And I don't, we could go to a private club on the East Coast every year, but that's not what we're about for the U.S. Open or any of our championships. So, to your point, we do want to spread it around. We want to be on the West Coast. We want to be in the Midwest. We may not be able to go to West Texas or southern Arizona or Florida for our time frame for our Men's Open, but certainly for our other events. It's a different world where we're not going to the same golf courses every year, and we want some variety. So I think that allows for that.
Well, Danny, hey, we know you're a busy man. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate you coming on the show and telling us a little about the event. Good luck over the next few weeks. Last one quick little question: your favorite venue to work so far that you've done?
As you know, that's probably asking about my favorite child. But I'm a Southern boy. I'm from Granite Quarry, North Carolina, and the first U.S. Open I ever worked was way back in 1999 at Pinehurst, where I was 10 feet off the 18th green when Payne hit that putt.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That one will always be special to me, growing up there. And, of going to Pinehurst as a child and then being able to work on a national championship there and subsequently 2 additional ones. I've been to some great places. You think about the Marions of the world and the Shinnecock Hills and the Oakmonks. There's not a wrong answer to that question, but I'm a Southern boy at heart and still love my sweet tea and Bojangles, so I got to go with Pinehurst.
Well, Danny, we appreciate that. And, being a Southern boy, you're always welcome down here in Myrtle Beach. It's a beautiful day here today, and I know as soon as you get this tournament wrapped up, you'll come down to see us, hopefully.
I know you guys will do a
Absolutely.
great
Thank
job,
you.
Danny. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, Danny. Well, good luck. Well, folks, that was Danny Sink, our USGA Championship Director. Obviously, he's going to be a very busy man over the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so. For Gene Weldon, I'm Jimmy Biggs. I want to thank you all for listening to a special edition of TGD Radio and TV, produced by and broadcast by Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured golf pages when you'll find up-to-date information and course conditions on specials and much more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Hashtag just call Dave. Give him a call at 844-GO-GOLF-1. That's 844-464-6531. All of our TGD programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on a show you may have missed, click on TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on 1 billion devices, Gene. 1 billion, that's a B.
That's scary.
Not an M, a B. 1 billion devices. That includes iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, and the Myrtle Beach Golf app. Okay, breathing. Again, I'm Jimmy Biggs on behalf of Gene Weldon and Jeff, our producer, in the glass behind us. We thank you for tuning in. There's more TGD golf news and information coming up next.